we are coming up on the by far most profitable time of the year. The last 3 months of the year, October, November, and December, see pretty much more sales than any other month. So if you've really been struggling to make your first sale or scale your business to more than just a few dollars every single month, this is the time to really buckle down and focus, because your efforts are going to pay off exponentially. Now, in today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about what are the best products you should be selling right now before Q4 to make sure that you have the opportunity to make the most profit possible. Now, we've all definitely heard about selling t-shirts, and it's still a product I really recommend, but sometimes we get into a rut of only selling one type of product when something else could work way better for our type of store. And a lot of times with these alternative products that you might have never even thought to sell, you can have way less competition and break into way more saturated niches. So if you've been trying your hand at just selling t-shirts or something like that, I definitely recommend maybe pivoting for a while to a new type of product, especially around Q4, where people are looking for all sorts of different gifts. Now, let's not waste any more time, and we're just going to jump right into my selection for the best products you can sell that aren't t-shirts. Now, I am logged into my Printify account, which if you have never used Printify before, they are basically the middleman between you and the platform that you are selling on. So if you want to sell on Etsy, you're going to need someone who's able to print, pack, ship, and store all of the items you want to sell, and who has a big enough selection that you're not going to have to integrate with a bunch of manufacturing partners all the time, every time you want to try a new product. So I personally really love Printify. I've used them for years. In fact, I have a full video tutorial here of how to get started using them. It just takes a few minutes, and they're completely free to use. But honestly, one thing that I truly love is that they have a huge selection of different products. So I'm going to take you through their catalog and kind of pinpoint some of the items that you really should think about trying that you probably never have thought of before. Now, the very first product that I think you should be selling during Q4, especially as we're coming up on like Halloween and Christmas, is a straw cup. Now, there are a ton of different straw cups on Printify, but I have one particularly in mind that is newer and one of the top best-selling cup types on Etsy right now, and that is their glass straw cup with kind of this wooden lid. So I'm going to click on this right here and just give you a bit of an overview. Now, if you haven't seen these anywhere, these have become extremely popular in the last year or so. So I was super happy when Printify brought these on. You can print all over the outside of them with all sorts of different designs. And with Printify Premium, they do start at just around $10. So there's a ton of room to make a huge profit margin on something like this. Now, I actually have a full Halloween tutorial of how to make these type of cups and upload them on your Etsy store. But if you haven't ever tried this type of cup, I highly recommend giving this one a try. It's super trendy right now, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, there are full Etsy stores that have only uploaded this type of item and are already making bestsellers. Their shops are ranking really high. So you could totally try something like that and just capitalize on this really hot item right now and go all out on making something like this. But there's a few other items I definitely want you to think about as well. Now, the next item that you might have never thought to actually add to your shop is going to be some kind of pillow or pillowcase. Now, Printify has a huge selection of both of those, and I find that a lot of people don't think this is necessarily a good item, but what I have found is that these sell extremely well, especially if you are selling in a niche that's related to a particular career. So for example, teachers, I find, love to get this kind of item for their classroom. So they want a very like festive pillowcase that has something to do with teaching or learning for Halloween or Christmas. But you could take this a ton of different directions. I generally like the best seller that's just the spun polyester square pillow, but you could also just do a pillowcase as well. But let's take a look at this pillow. So they are going to get, when they order this item, a full pillow, and it's all over print, so your design can cover the entire thing, or you could do a really fun pattern as well. These again have a really low starting cost, and you can charge well over $20 for something like this. So there's definitely a lot of room to make a good profit margin on something like this, and it's way less saturated than something like a t-shirt. Now, along with that, there's one more item that I really like to sell and recommend, and that is some kind of blanket. Now, there really are a ton of different options for blankets on Printify, but the one that I typically like to go with is this velveteen plush blanket. It's just so soft. It's a really popular blanket type, and And there's a few different size options, but with the smallest size, it's starting at less than $10 with Printify Premium, but it can go up to covering a full bed size. Now, these as well are all over print, so you can do all sorts of different things, but what I personally love to add onto blankets is some kind of really fun pattern. So I have a tutorial of how I made a really fun kind of fall themed pattern design for one of these blankets, so check that out, and you could replicate the same thing for all sorts of different holidays. These are particularly really good bestsellers around the holidays. People are buying these for maybe all of their grandchildren or their kids, so you can even do a lot with personalization. I highly recommend adding blankets to your shop if you've never tried it before. Now, during Q4, one item that I would be remiss if I didn't include is going to be just a standard mug. Now, people are buying these so often for things like gifts for teachers, or maybe the people that they work with every single day, so coworkers, or the people that they go to their hair to get cut, or their mechanics. So everyone loves a mug, and it's just a very popular gift to give this time of year. So I personally find that my mug sales just skyrocket around this time. So if you've never expanded into just generic mugs, this is honestly your time to kind of venture into that. Now, again, Printify has a lot of options, including ones that have like colored insides, which are super fun and very popular. They even have those enamel camping mugs, which are another great product, but you generally just can't go wrong with your standard mug. It's nothing fancy, and I love that since it's so generic, it is such a low price to sell, around $5, even if you don't have Printify Premium. Now, if you've never made a mug design before, it's as easy as even reusing some of your t-shirt designs and putting it on both sides of the mugs, but I have a full tutorial of how you can go about doing that right here. Now, one of the best ways you can expand to another product if you've been selling for a while is honestly just take any apparel item that has ever sold for you and you validated that that niche is a good one, that the design you made works. So put that on other products. So say you have a whole handful of t-shirts that sell really well for you, or have even just made a handful of sales, automatically put those on a bunch of mugs on Printify, and you've already validated that people are looking for that type of item. It's that easy. Now, the next product type that you definitely need to start thinking about if you're not already, even if it seems way too early to be considering this, is actually going to be adding ornaments to your shop. Now, this is a really popular item. Like mugs, this is a very easy gift to get for a lot of people. So I'm going to show you the ornament that I really like. There are 4 ceramic shapes that Printify has for this one ornament. They have a star, they have a heart, the circle, of course, and this snowflake. Now, the sky is really the limit with what you can actually put on an ornament. I find that anything related to stuff people are passionate about, like their hobbies or their jobs, their pets, stuff about their kids, make really good sellers for something like this around the holidays. But I have a full tutorial here of how to make and sell ornaments that I definitely recommend checking out. These, again, are a really low starting cost, so I can't recommend them enough. So now that you've figured out what you actually should be selling, one piece of advice that I definitely want to give you is don't go too many directions at one time. So I highly recommend, if you've been sticking with one product like t-shirts for a while and that's not really working, you should definitely expand into something else, give it a try, any of the products that I just mentioned. However, sometimes I find that new sellers, they really try too many different things at one time, so nothing is really sticking. If you have maybe 3 ornaments listed and a few pillowcases, maybe you have some mugs and cups, a few blankets, you're not sticking with something long enough to actually have the bulk needed to start having that item rank and having people see that item. So generally, I tell new sellers, even though it's a big number, try between 50 and 100 listings of each new product type before you really feel if that is not the one for you. So for example, if you're trying straw cups for the first time, I would make a good 50 different designs, put them on those to really see if you want to try something else first. Because a lot of times when we get distracted, that is where we stop doing the activities that are actually going to move the needle and make money in our business. So it's really important in print on demand that you have enough volume to actually make an impact to get people to see your items. Now, the next biggest complaint I see a lot is that people are like, okay, I know exactly what I want to sell. I have a great idea for my shop. I'm going to sell this type of item, but they really struggle coming up with good niches to actually make designs for. Either they're going way too broad or they're just going way too specific, and to succeed, you really need that happy medium. So you guys have probably probably heard me talk about it before, but I actually have a full system that I like to teach, really about how to take two popular niches, cross them together, and have a winning idea that is not super saturated, but is going to have enough people looking for it you can still make sales. I have a full guidebook with over 40,000 different niche ideas and kind of a full walkthrough workshop that's about an hour long that teaches you exactly how to do that and find great niches every single day. It's completely free and you can sign up for it down below. I'll send you all of the video information to your email address, but it just allows me to go into a little bit more detail in depth than I would be able to in a YouTube video like this. So make sure you do sign up for that down below if you want to get access to that guidebook, a lot of other free downloads, as well as that full hour-long workshop. Now, in the meantime, if you just want some other fun ideas of how to take your idea and make it into a full-blown design, I highly recommend watching this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.